You are just a cleaner. What worth do you have here?
They thought it was funny, a cruel prank meant to embarrass the woman who quietly scrubbed their floors. The millionaire and his guests sent her an invitation, certain she would never dare to come. After all, what could a cleaning lady possibly bring to a table of wealth and power? But when she walked through those doors on the night of the grand party, she didn't look like the woman they thought they knew. She looked like something else entirely, confident, radiant, unstoppable. And within minutes, the room that once mocked her would fall into stunned silence. Before we dive into this unbelievable story, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because you won't want to miss the powerful lessons hidden in stories like this. The mansion stood like a palace on the edge of the city, glowing with chandeliers that spilled light through its tall glass windows. Inside, a gathering of the wealthy elite was already underway. Men in crisp tuxedos clinked glasses of champagne, and women in glittering gowns whispered gossip behind jeweled fans. Laughter filled the grand hall, a laughter that often carried arrogance, the kind that thrived on looking down at those who had less. Among the servants moving quietly through the room was Clara, a black woman in her mid-40s. She had been working as a cleaning lady in the millionaire's mansion for years, unseen and unheard by the people who used her services daily. To them, she was nothing more than part of the furniture, there to serve, never to be celebrated. She scrubbed the marble floors until they shone, polished silverware until it gleamed, and wiped away the very footprints of the guests who ignored her existence. It was during one of these gatherings that the idea for a cruel joke was born. The millionaire, proud of his wealth and eager to entertain his circle, smirked as he suggested inviting Clara to his upcoming high-profile gala. His guests chuckled at the thought, imagining her awkward presence among them. The invitation wasn't given in kindness, it was meant as mockery. When the folded card reached Clara's hands, she stared at it in disbelief. No one had ever invited her as a guest before, let alone to an event like this. At first, she suspected it was a mistake. But then she noticed the handwriting, the smirk in the millionaire's eyes, and the stifled laughter of the others. She understood exactly what this was meant to be. Yet Clara didn't throw the invitation away. She kept it. She thought about it. For years, she had been invisible, just the cleaning lady. But she had another side of her life no one cared to see. Beneath the uniform and the tired hands was a woman who had once dreamed of more, who had fought through hardship with dignity. This invitation, though given as a joke, would become her chance to reveal a truth no one expected. And so, the stage was quietly set for a night that would turn humiliation into revelation. The night of the gala arrived, and the mansion glowed brighter than ever. Expensive cars lined the driveway, each arrival announced with grandeur. Guests stepped out in designer suits and glittering gowns, their laughter echoing through the marble halls as cameras flashed. For them, this was another night to flaunt wealth, power, and status. In one corner of the grand hall, the millionaire stood proudly, greeting his guests with a practiced smile. He was dressed in an immaculate white tuxedo, a gold watch gleaming on his wrist. Around him, a circle of admirers formed, laughing at his jokes and admiring the opulence he displayed. Among the chatter, whispers about the cleaning lady circulated. Some smirked, already anticipating the humiliation. "Can you imagine her walking in here?" one woman said, her diamond necklace glittering under the chandeliers. "It will be the entertainment of the evening." Another man added, "She'll probably wear her uniform." How fitting. The laughter that followed was sharp, cruel, and full of expectation. But while they mocked, Clara was at home preparing. She had saved quietly for years, setting aside small amounts from every paycheck. Unknown to most, Clara had once studied fashion and design in her youth, before life struggles forced her into cleaning jobs to survive. Though the world had stripped her of opportunities, it had not taken away her sense of pride. And tonight, she would not step into that mansion as a joke. She would walk in as the woman she truly was. When Clara finally arrived, the entrance hall fell silent. Heads turned. Conversations stopped mid-sentence. The same people who had laughed at her the day before now stared in disbelief. She wasn't wearing her uniform. Instead, she wore a flowing midnight blue gown that shimmered with every step. Her hair was styled elegantly, her makeup subtle but radiant, and around her neck hung a necklace she had inherited from her late mother, a reminder of the strength and dignity passed down through generations. Unsure at first, hesitated before stepping aside to let her in. Gasps rippled across the room as she entered. The millionaire's smile froze, his confidence wavering. This was not the scene he had imagined. Instead of laughter at her expense, the guests were whispering in awe. "Who is she?" someone murmured. "She looks incredible." Others looked down at their own attire, suddenly insecure. Clara walked with poise, her head held high, every step radiating dignity. She did not rush, nor did she falter under the heavy gaze of the crowd. For years, these walls had witnessed her bending, scrubbing, cleaning. But tonight, the roles were reversed, the wealthy were speechless, and the cleaning lady commanded the room. Still, some whispered snidely, trying to salvage the cruel joke. "It's just an act," one man muttered. "She doesn't belong here." The millionaire, growing uneasy, attempted to laugh it off. "Well, I see our special guest has arrived," he announced, his tone laced with condescension. A few chuckles followed, but the laughter no longer carried the same strength. The room's energy had shifted, and everyone could feel it. Clara did not reply immediately. She moved gracefully toward the center of the hall, where the chandeliers lit her face with a golden glow. Her silence was deliberate, and in that silence, the guests grew restless. Finally, she looked directly at the millionaire, the very man who thought her presence would be nothing more than entertainment, and with calm authority, she spoke in a voice that carried across the hall. "You invited me here as a joke," she began, her words clear and steady. "But the truth is, I have worked harder than most people in this room will ever know. I have scrubbed these floors while you laughed, I have polished your silver while you mocked me, and I have watched you throw away wealth that others would pray for. But tonight you will see me as I truly am." The room fell into stunned silence. No one dared laugh. No one looked away. Every eye remained fixed on her, waiting, uneasy, as the weight of her words settled like a storm about to break. And that was only the beginning. The air inside the mansion felt heavy, as though the chandeliers themselves were holding their breath. Clara's words had unsettled the carefully crafted atmosphere of wealth and arrogance. The millionaire tried to recover his dominance, flashing a forced smile as he raised his glass. "Let us not forget," he said loudly, "she is still just the cleaning lady. A guest tonight, yes, but tomorrow, back to scrubbing floors." His circle erupted in uneasy laughter, hoping to restore the mockery. But the laughter fell flat. Clara's presence had already shifted the room. And then, something happened that no one expected. She stepped forward, her heels clicking against the marble, each sound echoing like a drumbeat. She pulled a small, leather-bound folder from her clutch, one she had carried silently for years. Holding it up, she spoke with unwavering confidence. "You see me as just a cleaning lady because that is what you chose to see," Clara began. "But what you don't know is that I am also a graduate in design. Before life pushed me down, I dreamed of creating beauty, clothes, art, elegance. I may not have wealth like you, but I have talent, dignity, and perseverance. And tonight, I will no longer be invisible." She opened the folder, revealing sketches, stunning designs of gowns, suits, and accessories. The crowd gasped. The elegance on paper mirrored the elegance of the woman standing before them. For a moment, whispers of awe drowned out the arrogance in the room. The millionaire scoffed. "Pretty pictures," he sneered, trying to regain control. "But what use are they when you live in poverty?" Clara did not flinch. Instead, she smiled, as though she had been waiting for that exact question. "What use?" she repeated softly. "Every gown you see here is sewn from fabric I bought with the money I earned cleaning your floors. This dress I'm wearing, my own creation. The jewelry? An heirloom from my mother, who taught me that wealth is not in money, but in how you carry yourself. I may not have millions, but I have worth, and that is something you cannot mock away." A stunned silence followed. The guests, who had once ridiculed her, now looked at her with a mix of admiration and shame. Some even lowered their eyes, uncomfortable with the realization of their cruelty. The millionaire, however, could not let go. His pride, his arrogance, his entire reputation rested on humiliating her. He raised his voice, desperate now. "You don't belong here. This is a place for people of status, not servants pretending to be queens." But the crowd was no longer with him. Someone spoke from the back, an elegant woman in a crimson gown. "She looks more like a queen than anyone here." Murmurs of agreement followed. Another voice added, "She carries herself better than most of us." The tide had turned. Clara's eyes never left the millionaire's. She stepped closer, her calm composure unshaken, and spoke in a tone that silenced even the whispers. "You thought you invited me here as a joke. But the only joke is your arrogance. You measure people by their bank accounts and their titles. But tonight, everyone saw that true power is not in money. It is in dignity, in strength, in refusing to let the world tell you who you are." The millionaire's face flushed red. For the first time, he had no words. His silence was louder than his arrogance had ever been. The room erupted, not with laughter, but with applause. Guests stood, clapping, some with tears in their eyes. Clara stood in the center of it all, radiant, powerful, no longer the invisible cleaning lady but the woman who had turned humiliation into triumph. And as the applause grew, the millionaire quietly slipped into the shadows, defeated in the very home he thought he controlled. As the applause echoed through the mansion, Clara stood tall, her heart steady and her spirit unshaken. For years, she had walked through these halls as if invisible, her presence unnoticed, her worth unacknowledged. But tonight was different. Tonight, the people who once looked down on her now looked up in awe. The millionaire, red-faced and defeated, slipped quietly into a corner, his voice silenced by the very crowd he once commanded. The irony was undeniable, he had planned a joke at her expense, only to become the fool himself. And though he would wake up tomorrow still a millionaire, the respect he had lost that night could not be bought back with money. Clara, however, gained something far greater than wealth. In a single evening, she had reclaimed her dignity in front of those who had mocked her. She had shown not just herself, but everyone watching, that strength and beauty cannot be defined by status or title. True worth lives in resilience, in the courage to rise when others expect you to bow. The guests would leave that night carrying more than the memory of fine wine and glittering gowns. They would carry the image of a woman who transformed mockery into power, who walked into a room meant to humiliate her and instead left it in awe. Some would go home humbled, reflecting on their own prejudices. Others would remember the sting of their laughter turning against them. And Clara? She returned home not just as a cleaning lady, but as someone who had claimed her place in history, not for riches, but for her unshakable spirit. The dress she wore that night would never be just fabric again, it would forever symbolize her victory, her strength, and her refusal to be invisible. In the end, the question that lingered was not about Clara's worth, it was about theirs. How many others had they dismissed, mocked, or belittled without ever truly seeing? How many, cleaning ladies, walked among them with untold stories of brilliance and strength? Because sometimes, the most powerful person in the room is the one they least expect.